At the end, always have a little bit of air left. In exercises maybe that's not that important, but it's a habit. So let's say when you finish the phrase, appoggio singer, and any singer, not only appoggio, but any good singer should always have a little bit extra. Otherwise, if he doesn't have an extra, you will not make a little subtle push at the very end. Why do we need this? To maintain vibrato. You know, it's very important in phrasing. If you sing the high note or low note or anything, by classical rules, if you start, you can start non-vibrato and then get into vibrato, but you cannot finish in non-vibrato. Thing that I showed you to but as far as resonance goes, I think we are on the right track. I feel freedom in your voice, freedom in the resonance. Let's do this. Pitch a little bit. Let's do it one more time. On E it occurs more. Let's do it E just. Yeah, no problem. Usually separately there's no problem. That's it. Yes. Because every sound is treated by the pressure, a separate pressure that your memory is fixing and remembering. Very good. Don't do this because then you're pure resonance. What is important to find here, because what happens here is that your larynx or your throat becomes unstable in this particular note. So you have to find the pressure, or rather down counter pressure, to make the sound stable. Is that my job? No. My job is only to basically tell you if you did. I wish I could give you the pressures exactly. But so you have to find it and I have to tell you back. Then you have to do E, so you're closing your mouth. Along with closing your mouth, by habit, you may close your throat. And our throat is the resonance. Even if you close the guitar open thing, it will still be kind of a resonance. It's like closed mouth kind of type of thing. But if you put some stuff into a guitar set, there will be no resonance. So it's basically the shape. Do not try to change the shape here. Take a time before you're switching. So you do re, and the shape stays the same as in yon. One more time. You ready? Now try to be very, very soft. Still chiaro, scuro, no push at all. Just try. You know, when you learn technique, you always have to try like both. More compression, less compression. Because in playing around with those sensations of the support and the real action, we find the optimal decision. Because let's say sometimes you need to give more and the sound gets free. Sometimes you need to get less and the sound gets free. It's basically a mystery that we have to solve ourselves with the help, fortunately. But it's the mystery of how we're going to also place the bank of sensations. What you're doing successfully now is the result of the training and the mind, recognizing memory, recognizing muscle memory, everything. So it's a combination of the ear, muscle memory, sensation of the support, and you see how many things we have to kind of deal with, but it gets easier with time. Now it's much more easy. I assume we have much more challenges coming after us, but right now it's your baritone, your voice, and quite deep baritone. Light baritone sound like me when I sound baritone. That's what light baritone is. But you are baritone with the guts. You can see it right in the voice. Now, what I don't want you to do here, since we are determined to be in a baritone path, I want you to not to switch the register when you do, because you're making it a little brighter. So it gets off the general balance of your voice. Like, I show you. Instead of doing this, I know that it's not a good pass, because basically you're going to start forcing. You can get away from it now, but not later. Yeah, it's very open and very easy sound after 20 years, as Paolo used to say. But you have this easy sound already, not in a whole range, but in a lower. You have it when you sing exercises, and then your steps, few steps behind when you sing. We have to think about articulation more. Yes. Now what you're doing, I want you to understand what you're doing. When you do it, it gives a temporary ear kind of pleasure. Oh, I hear it. It's the same position. Only pressing the diaphragm to balance this open throat. Because open throat doesn't come itself. You know, it doesn't matter how much you yawn. I mean, I recommend to people yawn a lot. But open throat is not just yawn. It's a position of the ballerina, as you say, of whatever they have position. Try to stand in this position 4 hours. You know, they can do it. You know, this is out open throat, but that is supported by strong muscles. Actually larynx muscles and everything, but they are not the major players. The major players, you know, is a diaphragm. The diaphragm keeps them from being abused. So that's why all this movement we do, everything we do, we want to directly or indirectly control the diaphragm. And indirect is by imagination, is the best, or by the movements of the hand, you know, and stuff like that. Okay. Bravo, very good, very good. The same thing, don't be afraid of the big sound. One of the mistakes that almost every singer I know, when you're not experienced, is that when you sing a high note or you sing some challenging sound, you think, oh, I need to be more careful with that. Whatever you mean by being more careful, I don't know. But if you don't give enough pressure to this particular high sound, it will be strangled. So that's why it's kind of very difficult to get it, you know? You might strangle your voice because you don't want to strangle it. That's the paradox, you know? Because you think, oh, now I'm at the top note, I have to be more careful. So, of course, you have to be more careful, but what do you mean by more careful, right? But if you just push it down in a correct way, you will discover. Before singing that, I Provenza il mar, more chiaro scuro, more of the theatrical voice.
Di Provenza il mar, il suol.
No, di Provenza il mar, il suol. Try it.
Di Provenza.
What you're doing this is di separate, pro separate. What you're doing is you're doing the di Provenza il mare. No. Di Provenza il mare. Understand? Now, when you do something, it doesn't have to be necessarily the violin, but any movement that suggests this continuity, legato, will help you to carry legato in the piece. La, 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 la. No, bad, you're not connected. So, I'm not going to say in Provenza, because that would be cutting off. But you articulate di Provenza, all here. Okay? That's what you need to learn yet. Because that's what interrupts you. Di Provenza, mare del sole. One more time.
Di Provenza.
Venza is higher. Venza.
Di Provenza il mare e il sole.
Continue.
Was that correct?
It was not totally correct. We cannot stay it forever. I don't want you to get complex also. Come here. Why are you pushing that much? This is not a free sound. Of course, nothing can come out of this if you do it. The sensation has to be better. Sensation has to be the same as when you're singing. Ah, it was free. So the sensation here have to be the same.
I feel that the same,
Yeah.
but then you're telling me that I'm...
Yeah, no, because what you're doing is you're doing the first sound, you're not even paying attention too much. And it's most of the singers don't, because they put the accent on more longer note, more accented note. But on how you take this to know how do you take it without closing your throat? You have to start with no closing your throat. So don't want it to be a mistake. The mistake is not a problem. You have to. The problem if you don't experiment. If you make a mistake, bless God that you make a mistake, because then you can learn from it. But if you don't experiment, then it's the worst thing, the worst part. And experiment with me more than you experiment with yourself. Because at least I, you know, it's not that dangerous with me, okay? Do it one more time. And yet, what you're doing is that you're doing a push resonance so tight. In Provenza, not legato. I'm a little bit exaggerating. You do it better than I show, but it's still not legato.
Di Provenza il mare e il sole, chi dal corte canterò, chi dal corte canterò. Di Provenza il mare e il sole.
That's much better. That's much better. Dalla natio fulgente sol. The same thing.